Have you ever dreamed of a financial position that you could walk away from everything that doesn't serve you without any worry about money? You know, to get rid of the sleepless nights where we can't fall asleep because we spend all night worrying about money. Where we're in handcuffs to a job that we absolutely hate because we have nowhere else to turn. Where you become a slave to an alarm clock, and we're only one small crisis away from complete financial disaster. Don't you wish you could just say, you, to all of this? Well, you can, with the power of FU money. This is actually the new financial dream that really anybody can achieve with just 3 levels, 3 simple steps, and consistency and discipline. And you can achieve this well before retirement. We're talking well before you get so old that you're in the nursing home with a diaper on and you don't know what day it is. We're talking about when you're younger, youthful, and stronger. You can have the power to say FU and absolutely control your life. And that's what we're talking about today. FU money is so incredibly powerful. I wish I knew about this when I first got started. As a very dumb 20-something-year-old back in the early 2000s, I did what everybody did when it came down to achieving the financial American dream. And that means moving to another state, getting married, buying a new house, and buying a new car. Because look at me, I have a new job and I'm rich and I make money, but I didn't make enough money. And that meant I stressed down at the end of every single month trying to make sure I had enough money in the bank to pay the house, to pay the car, to pay all the debt payments and all that other stuff. And I couldn't say F you to anyone. I was a slave and dependent, and any small dip or issue or even a layoff would have been a complete catastrophe and probably put us on the street, no joke. And worse yet, the 2008 financial crisis hit when I was still building up my career, and I was so close to layoff. I watched friends around me get laid off during the turn of 2008 to 2009, and it was completely scary. And I thought to myself, if this would happen, and I would have been laid off today, I would have been absolutely screwed. I mean, we wouldn't have had enough money to pay the house payment. And you know, the mortgage companies were foreclosing on everybody left and right. We would have been like, what are we going to do next? And then on top of that, we still had student loan debts, credit card debts, car debt, you name it, debt. Well, that lesson back in 2008, 2009, and as I was kind of growing up in my early part of my career, that lesson made me realize how much I want to say F you, or I should say have the power to say F you. If something didn't go my way, if something wasn't right, if I needed a career break, if something needed to happen, you need to have the control to be able to say F you. I'm going to do things on my own. That control is the American dream. But we were sold a different bill of goods. But now it's time to reverse the trend and get a little bit smarter as we go forward in the future. Ready to get started with these 3 levels? Great. If not, well then, Level 1, in this first level of FU, you're kind of graduating from the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle and having enough money stashed up to maybe cover 3 or 4 months of your everyday expenses. That means you could be picky about what kind of job you want, or if you do get laid off, you at least have 3 to 4 months of a cushion to try to figure out your life so you're not immediately thrusted into the stress-ridden environment where you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the house payment? How am I going to pay the car and everything else? You at least have 3 months to say, okay, let's come up with a disciplined plan and figure this out. This level 1 also gives you the ability to say F you to those stupid setbacks. You know what they are. You know, your tire blows out on your car and you got to get all 4 brand new tires. Or all of a sudden your house needs some maintenance repair that costs at least $1,000 or more. Or the dentist says, hey, your mouth is all jacked up and it's going to cost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to fix up. You know, that level of FU is great because you can say, all right, this kind of sucks, but I'm going to go ahead and figure it out and everything's fine and I can move on with my life and rebuild back to those 3 months of FU level 1. Now, in order to achieve level 1, the first thing you need to do, take a very serious look at how much money you're spending every single month. Look at all your expenses. We're talking everything, and really calculate that. I would do it for at least 3 to 4 months. Starting today, next 3 to 4 months, start calculating how much money are we spending every month, and then average that out. That's your goal. What you want to do is take whatever that number is and multiply it by 3. That would be 3 months. That means that's the amount of money that you need to save up in order to achieve level 1 of FU. And then number 2, then once you figured out that number, start stashing away. Start figuring out a way to cut some things out of your budget right now today to start pushing money into either a high yield savings account that pays at least 4% APY or putting it into a smart conservative investment brokerage account. And once you do that, that serves as your level 1 FU money, and that allows you to finally breathe for once and alleviate all that financial pressure that could happen with a mere inconvenience. Now, level 2, in this next level of FU money, you're in a position to make specific, calculated decisions and take risk that most people cannot and probably will never be able to take. This is where you could take a career break for a year or more. We're talking travel the country, try to figure something else out. Or let's say you're like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of this particular career track I'm on. I want to just completely change. I want to do something completely different. I want to start my own business, whatever that may be. This level 2 of FU gives you that ability. If you got a year of money saved up that you can live off of that 1 year, that gives you the ability to start building that business and dedicating your time to building that business. Or if you just want to take an overall career break and be done with it, take that break. Spend time with your family while you're still young and while your kids are still young. Go travel the world. Go experience things together. That level of FU could be absolutely amazing and completely transform your future. I actually know of 2 people that have done this. The first person, Eric, what he did is he totally quit his career and decided 2 things. I'm going to take 6 months off and try to figure out what I'm passionate about. I'm either going to go get another job or I'm going to figure out a business. And during that period of time, he got excited about building a business. He figured out a way that he could do something, scale it, and not have to totally create a job for himself, which means he could have more time freedom while building up the business. And what's really cool about that is today, the guy's making a ton of money and he has more time available to spend with his family and also look into different businesses that he's passionate about building. The second person, they didn't build a business, but her name is Stacy. And what she decided to do is really focus on, I want to take a year off and totally get out of a toxic job that I'm in. And that's what she did. And what they did is traveled the world. Her and her boyfriend, which became her fiance, which is now her husband, got to do this all throughout the entire year that she took off. And now she's actually interviewing for jobs and she's looking at, okay, I want to be very particular about what company I join and make sure that my boss is not toxic either. So that means in the interview, not only is she getting interviewed, she's interviewing her future boss to make sure that there's nothing weird, no weird vibes or anything like that, so that if she decides to join that company, she can be happy and rest assured that her mental health will still remain intact. That level of risk taking, that level of freedom to be able to take a year off and figure that out and step into your future in a whole new and dynamic way, how exciting is that? And either one of these people could not have achieved that without first achieving level 2 of FU money. Now, level 3, it's the real deal. It's the ultimate FU. This gives you ultimate control. It means your investments grow at a rate that you could literally live off your money and nothing else. You don't need a job. You don't need financial assistance. You're taking the FU and turning it into the FI, which stands for financial independence. Let's say you only need $4,000 a month to live off of in your expenses, and we're going to adjust this for inflation in the future as well. What you do is you start investing $1,700 a month into stock market investments. From age 30 to age 50, your portfolio grows to $1,232,000. You retire early at the age of 50, you say FU, and given an average withdrawal rate of 4% per year, you're able to live off of that $4,000 every single month, and it adjusts for inflation as well every single year at an average inflation rate of 3%. With only a 6% average stock market return, which is incredibly low. Typically, the stock market averages 10% per year, but at only 6% per year, you could live off of your money alone and absolutely nothing else, not even Social Security. We're just talking about your investment alone from the age of 50 all the way up until your early 90s. And at this position, and honestly, if you start earlier and let's say you retire at the age of 40 or something like that, I mean, that anything's possible. If somebody wants you to do something, F you. Your boss does something you don't like, F you. This is the power that any of us can achieve with consistency and with discipline. What level am I on? Right now I'm on level 2, but in the next 6 years I'll be on level 3. You know, J.L. Collins is a very respected voice in the FI community. And it's really cool. He did a video about FU money based on the movie The Gambler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that so you can watch that next because it's an absolutely inspiring and kind of funny video clip. So what you want to do, check out J.L. Collins' video right up here at the top. And then to understand the power of the 4% rule, which helps you live off of your investments, as I just showed you on level 3, check out this video that I have right down below. And if you like the video, make sure you share it with other people. If you didn't like the video,